In Episode 13, Culture and Risk Maturity Explained, we explore the invisible but decisive element that determines whether risk management succeeds or stagnates: organizational culture. No matter how sophisticated a framework appears on paper, its effectiveness depends on how people behave under uncertainty. Culture governs what gets shared, who speaks up, and how decisions are made when stakes are high. It beats process daily because it defines instinct. In this episode, we dissect how culture influences risk awareness, trace maturity through observable behavior, and discuss practical ways to strengthen capability without waiting for grand reorganizations or new tools. Culture reveals itself through artifacts and norms. Artifacts are visible: policies, dashboards, reports, and meeting rituals. Norms hide underneath: the unwritten rules about candor, escalation, and accountability. A team may hold weekly risk reviews, yet still silence bad news if the norm discourages discomfort. The PMI-RMP professional learns to read both layers. Artifacts show what the organization claims to value. Norms reveal what it actually rewards. Misalignment between the two exposes maturity gaps. Recognizing that tension allows the professional to navigate carefully, reinforcing positive patterns while quietly challenging those that undermine transparency. Risk attitudes exist on a spectrum of comfort. Some organizations view uncertainty as danger to eliminate. Others see it as a natural cost of ambition. The difference shapes tone across every meeting and document. A risk-averse culture prizes control but can suffocate innovation. A risk-seeking one embraces opportunity but may neglect safeguards. The mature stance lies in balance, curiosity without recklessness. Understanding where a team sits on this spectrum helps the professional tailor messaging, emphasizing safety where fear dominates, emphasizing discipline where optimism overflows. Cultural fluency enables influence without confrontation. Decision speed and escalation behavior are reliable cultural indicators. In mature environments, decisions flow quickly through defined channels, and escalations occur early without blame. In immature ones, issues linger in silence until they explode into crisis. Slow escalation signals fear of repercussions or unclear authority. Risk maturity correlates strongly with psychological safety, the belief that speaking up will not invite punishment. The professional monitors how long it takes for concerns to reach resolution. If escalation is delayed or deflected, governance alone cannot fix it. Cultural realignment must precede structural change. Accountability models reveal whether a culture blames or learns. In blame-oriented systems, errors become liabilities, so people hide them. In learning-oriented ones, errors become data points, encouraging openness. A mature risk culture converts mistakes into insights and prevents recurrence. Shifting from blame to learning requires visible leadership behavior: executives admitting misjudgment, managers rewarding disclosure, and teams reflecting without defensiveness. The PMI-RMP professional advocates this mindset, demonstrating through facilitation that surfacing issues strengthens, not weakens, credibility. Over time, learning replaces fear as the dominant emotional response to uncertainty. Transparency defines how early and how accurately bad news surfaces. A transparent culture treats risk data as shared intelligence. An opaque one treats it as political ammunition. The earlier risks appear in conversation, the cheaper they are to address. The professional fosters transparency by modeling it, sharing metrics openly, admitting unknowns, and inviting counterpoints. Transparency is contagious when rewarded. When leaders thank messengers rather than shoot them, honesty accelerates. Over time, transparency becomes habit, reducing the need for heroic problem-solving. In risk management, quiet truth-telling outperforms any algorithm. Incentives drive candor more than slogans. When goals reward only short-term delivery, people naturally conceal delays or overruns to meet metrics. If incentives include quality, collaboration, and risk reduction, behavior shifts. The PMI-RMP professional studies how performance evaluations and bonuses shape communication patterns. Aligning incentives with honesty may require redesigning targets or adding recognition for early issue detection. Culture follows reward systems more reliably than policies. Adjusting incentives, monetary or reputational, translates ethical intent into measurable behavior, turning risk transparency from moral appeal into practical advantage. Maturity models provide structured ways to assess and improve risk culture. They typically range from ad hoc, where processes are inconsistent, to optimized, where integration and learning are continuous. Indicators include documentation quality, communication reliability, and leadership engagement. The PMI-RMP framework encourages professionals to use these models diagnostically, not judgmentally. The goal is to identify gaps objectively and prioritize development efforts. Maturity assessment gives organizations a shared language for progress, transforming abstract culture talk into a tangible improvement roadmap grounded in observation rather than opinion. The journey from ad hoc to optimized practice passes through recognizable stages. Initially, risk management depends on individual initiative, sporadic, reactive, personality-driven. As maturity grows, processes standardize, data accumulates, and governance stabilizes. Eventually, organizations embed risk thinking into every decision, treating uncertainty as strategic input rather than peripheral concern. The final stage integrates continuous learning, feedback loops, and cross-domain collaboration. The professional's role is to guide evolution without overwhelming capacity, introducing structure progressively until it becomes self-sustaining. Maturity is never static. It matures through iteration and reinforcement. Bridging maturity gaps requires pragmatism. Sweeping reform often collapses under resistance, while small, visible wins build momentum. Start by improving one reporting cycle, refining one workshop, or clarifying one escalation path. Demonstrate the value of change through results rather than rhetoric. As confidence builds, extend reforms gradually. The PMI-RMP professional acts as coach and translator, converting abstract best practices into context-fit actions. This approach respects current constraints while nudging culture toward openness and discipline. Pragmatism, not perfectionism, sustains transformation over time. Trust grows through visible consistency, not declarations. When managers keep commitments, share credit, and protect candor, teams reciprocate with honesty. Each small promise kept, responding to raised issues, updating stakeholders promptly, strengthens collective confidence. The PMI-RMP professional can seed trust by honoring transparency in their own communication, never penalizing vulnerability. Over time, trust becomes institutional memory. People remember that truth was safe here. Culture changes one conversation at a time, and each fulfilled expectation becomes evidence that honesty is rewarded, not regretted. Measuring culture may sound intangible, but practical proxies exist. Surveys assessing perceived openness, decision timeliness, or blame frequency provide quantifiable baselines. Participation rates in risk workshops or response turnaround times also serve as indicators. Qualitative interviews complement numbers, revealing nuance that metrics miss. The goal is not to grade morality, but to monitor progress. When professionals measure culture, they signal that it matters. What gets measured gains legitimacy, and what gains legitimacy attracts leadership attention, turning cultural health into a managed variable rather than background noise. A roadmap for capability improvement connects all these insights into action. It links current maturity levels to desired states, defining specific initiatives, training programs, revised incentives, process automation, or leadership mentoring. Each step must include accountability and metrics. The roadmap communicates both ambition and realism, showing that culture change is structured, not mystical. By documenting direction, the PMI-RMP professional ensures progress survives leadership transitions and budget cycles. Continuous improvement becomes policy, not personality, ensuring cultural resilience regardless of turnover or external pressure. Culture multiplies technique. Processes can be copied, mindsets cannot. A team with high trust and learning orientation will outperform one with perfect templates but weak candor. Risk maturity grows from how people think, not just what they document. By cultivating openness, accountability, and adaptability, organizations convert procedure into performance. The PMI-RMP credential represents not just technical mastery, but cultural stewardship, the ability to create climates where truth travels fast and lessons endure. In the end, culture is the force that turns every method into meaningful, lasting competence. Thanks for listening. For more audio courses, daily newsletters, and more, please visit baremetalcyber.com.